Now, I would venture to guess that most of us have been in that long relationship with a person that we thought could possibly be the one. You know, that relationship that even though it had some exciting times early and we had been through a lot, just ends up dragging on with most of the excitement and those thoughts of actually taking the big leap dissipating. The one we knew would inevitably have to end, but nobody was willing to make the move. Well, that has to be what it's like to be an A&M football fan under Jimbo Fisher. I mean, it's just got to be. I mean, every time a new year rolls around, there's a sign of a spark, maybe in recruiting, maybe it's off the field, and you think maybe if we make it 6 more months, just 6 more months, it'll all turn around and we'll turn into a great story of love and redemption. But it always falls back to the norm. And hell, A&M even tried bringing a new person into the relationship to jolt it back to life in Bobby Petrino. But yet still here we sit, 5-3, 4th in the division, with a hurt quarterback and going on the road once again to face a ranked SEC team. Now spare me the buyout talk, because let's not pretend that A&M doesn't have the money. And the $9.5 million drop, if they hold on to him another year, to some of these guys is a couple weekends in Vegas with a mistress or two. Now, if A&M falls this weekend, likely on their way to a 7-5 record at best, would it be better to just rip the Band-Aid off and break up? Or will the merry-go-round continue through 2024? Now, as someone who still believes Jimbo could eventually run into a big year, it may actually be better to just get it over with. I mean, I've been one of his biggest proponents, but you got to stop holding on at some point. Because what's worse, the prospect of false hope or the fear of the unknown? It obviously depends on who you go get or what the market bears. Would Urban Meyer listen? What about Mike Elko? They just won again last night at Duke. Or is there someone else out there who wants to wait until the end of the season to make their move? Now, either way, this feels like the biggest game of the Jimbo Fisher era. And if the Aggies make it over their last 9 against SEC-ranked teams on the road, it could be his last. Now, regardless, this relationship feels like it's run its course. And eventually, someone's going to have to grow a pair and get out before the new year hits, or you think maybe a kid will save you. I'm bringing in David Cohn now, former Michigan quarterback. Obviously, best friends with Connor Stallions. We all know it. And my brother, former Western State Colorado wide receiver, Blaine Crane, as well. David, I feel like, you know, we talk about this, and we talk about this, and we talk about this with the A&M and Jimbo Fisher. But I don't know, what would be better long-term in your mind? Like let's run this ground ball out. Say they go 7-5 this year. Mm-hmm. Say in 2024, which I kind of circled as the moment, right? The where it can actually turn. Let's say you go 10-2, right? You sneak in the college football playoff and you lose in the first round. You're like, all right, Jimbo is definitely our guy. Let's sign him another long-term contract. But this is actually what you're going to get most of the time. Or is it better just rip the Band-Aid off and, hey, Oklahoma and Texas are coming in. We got to go find our guy.
A lot of it is what we talk about, which is what is the market bearing? Like, who can you go get? The dragon over there, excuse me, I don't want to say his government name, but the dragon is saying, hey, I forgot the graphic, go get Urban Meyer. Like, if that's an actual possibility, you get Urban Meyer to coach your football team.
For sure.
Right? Like, but also the grass is not always greener on the other side. Now, it's so rare to find a college football coach who has won a national championship who's willing to come over and coach your team, and that's what Texas A&M thought that they were getting, and it hasn't been good. Now, I feel bad that Connor Wegman went down this season because we had identified him at the beginning of the year as, hey, Jimbo finally got that guy at the quarterback position who can really help him win football games. They lost on the road at Miami with a healthy Connor Wegman too, and I just don't know if he would have made the difference against a loss at Alabama and a loss at Tennessee. You got 4 games left here: Ole Miss on the road, Mississippi State at home, Abilene Christian at home, on the road at LSU. If they're able to win 3 of those, like if they could split the Ole Miss and LSU game and go 8-4, you think he comes back next year, right?
Yeah, I think 8-4 and he's back. I think 7-5. There's a legitimate chance that especially if it's, you know, you look bad against LSU last game of the year, too. If you lose this one, you look bad against LSU last game of the year. I think they'd be willing to do it. I think they're actually willing to do it now. I think they've had the money. But I want to go ahead and get this. To my right, I misspoke. I used his government name a second ago. We all know who it is. Play it.
This is flaming.
Hey!
1.5, boys.
It gets me every
1.5
that.
today. One's already slid, but it doesn't count.
You weren't intro.
Jake keep blowing the intro every Friday.
Maybe I'm doing it
1.5.
on purpose.
1.5.
Sandbagging.
1.5.
I will bring up two things, and I said this to Billy Lucci one time when it comes to Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M. You know, a lot of people at the University of Michigan were ready to run Jim Harbaugh out of town after losing to his rival year after year, and then the COVID year especially, which was sort of an anomaly, but still, you win 2 games, something like that, things just fell off the rails. And then remember, Mike Norvell was on the hot seat a year ago at Florida State too. He's both those coaches right now are on the cusp of making the college football playoff this season. The difference with Texas A&M to me is it just feels bad. Like it looks bad, it feels bad. Now part of that could be just this carousel at quarterback with these injuries and stuff, but this is the sophomore year of that number 1 recruiting class he had.
Yeah.
Right? This is their sophomore year. At some point, you got to win double-digit games.
No,
at the very least.
Look, I agree with that 100%. And Flaming, again, you've been a very staunch critic of A&M. You have this whole time.
Are you? I have. You sure?
Yeah.
I know. You're right.
Okay. But I just you say something's off. Everything looks hard. It's not. It's just crazy because it just seems like every time A&M, you feel like they're going to take that jump.
Mm-hmm.
They find a way, whether it's the front seven being elite, one of the best front sevens in college football, but the secondary's bad.
Mm-hmm.
Offensively, you show spurts, right? And I know the quarterback injury situation, things like that, but it just seems like with Jimbo Fisher and A&M, there were just it's Murphy's Law.
Yeah.
If it can go wrong at the one time you don't need it to, it will go wrong. And I don't, do I think we live in the Matrix? Possibly.
Simulation.
Is it a simulation? Possibly. But if you're an A&M fan, I mean, how much can you take? Like, I really got a ton of respect for these people. Like, you think I'm playing around? 1939? Look, as an Auburn fan, we hadn't won one since 1957. I obviously don't remember that. But we did go undefeated in 2004. Yeah, man. Look at some of that right there. The club. Anyways, like, went undefeated in 2004. Then we went in 2010. These people hadn't won one, David, a natty since 1939. We hadn't even dropped into Normandy yet, dog. Like, not only that, you come to SEC, never won the West. Never won it. Have never won it, played the SEC championship.
It just feels like they're always 2 steps forward, 1 step backwards, right? It just, and the thing about it is, it's like you have the guys, right? There's no excuse. You have the guys came in. Hell, you paid half the country to come play for your football team, and you got worse. Let's go through it a little bit, all right? Let's be honest here. It's the honesty hour. That's what we're going to do. I mean, 45-22, all right? Ranked games, you're 12-14. Is that good enough?
No.
Okay, it's not, right? That's
You're 0-9, 0-8 on
That's
the
Kevin
road.
Sumlin's record at A&M.
Yeah.
All right. Jimbo Fisher is 43-24. This is through the first 67 games. All right. And he's 9-14. All right. Kevin Sumlin got his ass fired. Right? But Jimbo's still sitting up there. Why? And you're paying Jimbo a lot more you're paying Kevin.
And Kevin Sumlin had it running like a nightclub up there.
And hell, at least he had a Heisman winner. You had a couple good years.
And it was fun to watch.
But I just don't understand what we're waiting on.
Well, yeah.
All right? Sometimes the knight in shining armor is not going to show up. Sometimes it's just going to be a princess just up there, can I say bitching? I'm going to say bitching in the castle with a knight who never shows up. It's just some guy, it's the IRS actually shows up.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're screwed.
Hunter Stallion
We got to get
up.
past this. It's over. A&M, the Jimbo Fisher era, it's done.
Well, this isn't, like you brought up Mike Norvell. Good point. How long has he been at Florida State, though? I mean, we brought up, Dabo was close, right, at Clemson. Remember, they were about ready to run Dabo off. I think it was, year 4? The Dabo hit? Something like that? Jimbo, you've been there for how long? You were there before COVID. Like, at some point, like, the honeymoon has to end.
Mike Norvell was 3-6. That was the COVID year, right?
Yep.
The year after that, 5-7. Then he went 10-3 last year.
Then he went 10-3.
This is their first
So third year it hit.
Florida State's first winning season since 2017. And then obviously this year they're undefeated.
Yeah, can we pull up Jimbo's? Because I know they went 9-1 during COVID. They went 9-1 during COVID. Everybody got all hot and bothered and excited. And then it kind of just regress down to back
Got
to
it,
the
Dave?
mean.
Yep, I got it. All right, so since he's been there,
Yes.
since he took over for Kevin Sumlin.
What year? Can you say the year?
2018, he went 9-4. 2019, he went 8-5.
Okay.
COVID year 2020, 9-1.
Here we go.
They had a legitimate conversation or a legitimate argument to make the college football playoff that year. They were that first team out, really. 2021, 8-4.
Okay.
Last year, first losing record there, 5-7, and right now they sit 5-3 with 4 games remaining.
At some point, you got to move. And what a better look. And I've talked about Urban Meyer, Michigan State. I promise you, I'm not every time a job pops open saying Urban Meyer needs to get it or it's a great fit. But what would be a better fit than Urban Meyer and A&M? You say, Jake, why? Why would that be a great fit? What makes that such a great fit? Not only would it be a great fit, I think it'd be love at first sight. You want to know why? Let's look at some numbers. Like I said, 1939. You got a guy who wants to get back in it, broken a little bit, right? We know what happened with the Jags, okay? And people act like Urban Meyer is just like this domestic terrorist that's done all these terrible things. He really hasn't. He works some guys a little too hard. Maybe he cares a little bit too much. I would love for my coach to almost have a heart attack on the sideline because he cares so much. God, that's wow. It's like, I don't know, like having one of your fans write a manifesto. Not exactly going to get pissed about it unless something tragic happens. But
Mad about it.
Urban Meyer wants to get back in it, wants to go to a big brand, right? Say what you want about A&M. They're a big brand. They're in the SEC. They can pay as good as anybody. That oil money's that long money, right? That put it in the machine or see how much it weighs. We'll find out how much it is money, okay? And then you got A&M. Let's be honest. About willing to do whatever it takes. If you're willing to dress up in overalls like that and scream into the woods, you are willing to do whatever it takes. And Urban Meyer's not Lex Luthor. He's not this evil. He's not the Joker. He doesn't want to go take out half the city. You know what he wants to do? He wants to have his name up in lights. He's probably tired of hearing about Nick Saban, who may be on his way out, right? Urban Meyer, seeing what Michigan's doing, I'm telling you right now, I think it's a perfect fit. It may be love at first sight. Urban Meyer texting, he'd win. Best believe he'd win.
I've been saying this. I've been saying this. If you're going to go get a guy, all right, you go get Urban Meyer. And how bad do you want to win, A&M? That's what it comes down to. Urban Meyer's not a great guy. Obviously, he's not. You saw the 30-30 hell. He's kicking guys. I mean, he's at Hooters getting danced on by a bunch of chicks. We know that.
I mean,
but that doesn't
honestly,
matter.
Chuck Norris says the same thing.
That doesn't matter.
Describe Chuck Norris.
Like, you think these coaches are great guys? You think they're going to church on Sundays, doing this, baking cookies on Christmas?
They're people.
It's the mob, brother. That's what it is. It's the mob. And Urban's one of the Dons, all right? So if you want to come have a Don coach your team, a captain, an upper Don, then you go get Urban. And we don't talk about what he does off the field.
No.
We don't.
No.
We protect that. That's why I always go back when Hugh Freeze at Ole Miss. I don't blame Hugh Freeze. I blame his buddies.
Yeah, what's it like?
How the hell are you going to let him call on a school phone? Who's your friends, all right? Who's your PR guys?
No, like, hey, where's Urban at? Oh, he's watching tape. That'd be my answer every time. Like, hey, we're just trying to get tabs on where Coach Meyer is. You know, we just paid him $400 million. We want to make sure he's all right. Like, he's watching film. You want anything? Like, do you need anything? You need some help? Whatever. Oh, yeah, Coach. Yeah, no, that is definitely covered too.
Like, it's definitely your job for A&M. You turn Urban's life into the Truman Show.
I'm not saying Nick Saban. I'm not saying Nick Saban is a perfect guy. I'm sure he has plenty in his closet too, but I think it's not a coincidence that the guy who's winning the most championship also doesn't have all this off the field.
Whoa. Well, you say that. You say that.
I've heard some things. They might have surfaced to the public.
You say that. Not one person showed up from Michigan State to get on the plane with Nick Saban to go to LSU.
Oh, people don't like him.
I remember Nick Saban making NFL players cry during the stretch lines. So we're going to...
That's not mob stuff. He's talking about he's comparing coaches to mob. Working your players hard and your assistant coaches hard so they don't like you. And that's not being in the mafia.
Oh, I don't know. Depends on who the boss is. Like, I don't think Blaine saying Urban Meyer's out here running like hitting up shops in the middle of downtown to make sure they're paying protection money.
That's my point. That's my point. There's a line here. Let's be clear with what we're talking about.
Well, yeah, they're not going out to do a hit on a Sunday morning.
Urban Meyer's not giving but he's like, I want Harbaugh and his crew whacked.
Right? The way they run things is mobbish. All right? You don't think Nick Saban's finding every way to get ahead? All right, what do the mob do? Every way. Hell, Harbaugh's part of the mob. He's a captain too. Y'all here stealing signs. All right? That's mob mentality.
Oh, here's still,
If you
like-
ain't
And I love it.
You ain't trying.
I love it.
Right? Yeah, I love it too. I love it too. And Urban's, he even got that look to him, right? He
does.
got a little Italian in him, you know, a little bit of the smorgasbord in him. But I'd rather have a guy like that than some pity-patty, I'm okay, you're okay, and that's okay type of head coach.
See,
That's not going to win you games.
well, that's what surprised me about Matt Rule's pregame speech. I thought Matt Rule was maybe a little bit like, all right, guys, listen, let's just, here's what I want to do, all right? Today I just want to go out there and enjoy it, right? Each other, that's who we are, together. All right, let's enjoy each other, friendship, loving. Matt Rule, I looked at that speech, was like, God almighty, okay.
It's not about
I get
having
it.
fun. It's about winning.
Yeah, you know what's
And
fun?
winning
You know what's
is
fun?
fun.
Is winning. That's what's fun. That, to me, that's what's fun. That's if I would look up what's fun in the dictionary, it'd have a picture of me holding like something that I've won. Because that to me is fun. Maybe I'm a product of my environment. Speaking about products, when it comes down to skincare, okay, I don't care if you're Urban Meyer or I don't care if you're, on the Derelict campaign on Zoolander.
Hot right now.
You need to look good. That Hansel. He's on fire right now. And with our friends at Genucel, they've got you covered. Male, female, doesn't matter, whatever. This Christmas, too, it is an incredible gift. Just trust me on this. And guess what? Genucel, they just launched a new product. It's called the Genucel 3. No, it's not something you throw in space. It's something you put on your face, which will make your bags and puffiness disappear, along with dark circles, fine lines, crow's feet, and firm up that eye contour area. It's smoother, it's more luxurious, and it uses advanced technology to deliver complex vitamins and minerals that I'm too stupid to understand directly to your face for instant hydration. They sum it up best, David. You want to know how they describe it? It's like Gatorade for your skin.
Really?
Now you're speaking my language.
Gatorade for
I know
your
exactly what you mean when you put it in that
Hydrate.
way. Our producer, Justine, loves it. The under eye cream, she talks about it all the time. Isn't that right, PJ?
It does.
Love it.
Yep. And we have the new Genucel 3 product on the way, so she can add this to her skincare routine for even longer, and you can too. So go to Genucel.com/booster. Or you can call 800-SKIN-211 for extra discounts on this amazing fall package. Get results in 12 hours or less. The immediate effects are included for free. That's Genucel, GENUCEL.com/booster, or call 800-SKIN-211. You have skin in the game. I made that slogan up. Also, we have merch, and we're doing a live stream for the LSU-Bama game. That's right.
Let's go, baby.
That's
I can't
right.
wait. A lot of
Can't
money
wait.
getting
And
pushed out.
Washington USC's on too.
Tomorrow, yes, and we'll have USC Washington as well. So if you want to come hang out with us while you watch the game, we watch the game. We'll be breaking it down, doing live bets, taking your questions, comments, whether you're pissed off, whether you're happy, whether you're trash talking. Come hang out with us. It's a great time. Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. Seeing me. We appreciate you stopping by. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button on these videos. Helps out with the algorithm. Apparently, I've been told by the computer doctors. And make sure you turn that notification bell on so you know when we're dropping content.